I am KingsDecree, and this is the top 5 things Recettear did right. Now, I'm not saying Recettear is a contender for Game of the Decade or milestone in gaming achievements. I just felt Recettear really surprised me with some relatively basic concept that a lot of games just seem to mess up these days. Number 5. Recettear effectively implements a unique gameplay mechanic that not only fits into the theme of the world, but also into the story, other gameplay mechanics, and most importantly, it's actually pretty fun. Buy and sell items that you've obtained through 2 ways. First and foremost, buying from a vendor. While convenient, you won't make very much profit, and you need to make a lot of money. Secondly, and this introduces you to the meat of the game, is hiring an adventurer to accompany you to a dungeon to find the items to sell. The shopkeeper aspect is surprisingly seemingly implemented in such a way that feels natural despite being one of a kind. Number 4. What's better than loot? A crap ton of loot flying around at you always. Number 3. Interactive and ever-changing dungeons. Recettear takes the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon formula and brings it to life. Dungeons can essentially be broken up into 3 pieces. Number 1. Move from floor to floor to bring yourself face to face with the dungeon boss. Number 2. Defeat the enemies on your way moving from floor to floor. And number 3. Explore the floor looking for treasure chests. In most games, you would just rush the boss and everything else would be worthless. However, in Recettear, you actually have incentive to explore the floor looking for items, money, and levels, and that is rare indeed. Number 2. Sardine bitches! Number 1, and most importantly, the fantastic boss fights. Boss fights that actually take some thought is something you unfortunately don't see often. Even one of my most favorite games ever, Bastion, doesn't do this right. Transistor, the spiritual successor, does, however. Probably the first game that will come to most people's mind is, of course, Dark Souls. And yes, Dark Souls is the best example of bosses that take more than just hack and slash, or press A and continue for 30 minutes. That's great and all, but what exactly does Recettear do to have great boss fights? First, let's take a look at the first boss of the game. First thing you notice, giant blue blob. My first thought was great. Generic boss, let's just slash this thing away and maybe get some pretty good loot. Nope. If you do that, winning will not only be significantly more difficult, but it will take so much longer. So you die a couple times and you're like, okay, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Let's observe what is actually going on before we rush in like that. First, this blob thing jumps up and down and gets smaller. Okay. It gets smaller upon jumping down, making hitting me harder. Good, we want that. Next, a smaller slime appears, probably just to distract me. I'll ignore it from now. Next, the smaller slime combines with the big slime and oh no, it gets bigger. Conclusion, kill the little slime before it combines with the big slime, rinse and repeat. Now, for some this comes naturally, for others it takes a little while. What does matter is that despite being a JRPG, they shy away from traditional tropes, slash until it dies boss, and instead opts for something that takes more thought. It's not groundbreaking or particularly amazing, but it's subtle, and I like that. On to the next boss. This boss is actually what initially gave me the idea to do this video. I really want to showcase how cool I think this boss is. Let's preface this by remembering that the first boss taught us not to just rush in and slash repeatedly. So, big rat thing with a crowbar. It's a little silly to be honest, but he's no joke. Now, I imagine most people, me included, just ran up to the boss and tried to attack, only to get a crowbar to the face. Then thought, okay, I probably just timed that wrong. Let's try again. Whack! Ugh. Alright, let's try circling around. No, he's too fast. Alright, we need to observe what's going on and make an educated decision based on the information provided to us. I cannot attack this guy in his current state. Pretty much a fact. There are mushrooms everywhere. What do they do? Every once in a while, the rat will eat the mushroom. Okay, the red one appears to heal him. What about that purple one? Is that the same? Bada boom! Down he goes from the purple mushroom. But he gets back up quickly, leaving only a few seconds to attack him while he's vulnerable. Alright. We wait till he gets a purple mushroom. Attack, rinse, repeat. Easy peasy. Alright, okay. Oh no, he just picks up a red mushroom when I don't want him to. Can we get rid of these mushrooms entirely? Yes, experimentation with information at hand led to a discovery. Now this seemingly impossible boss is a pushover. The best part? The game doesn't tell you a thing. Not a single tooltip, no text boxes, no hints, nothing. You as the player play the game and find out using observation skills, experimentation, and educated guesses to figure out the answer on your own. This is something so unheard of in this day and age, but thankfully we're slowly making our way to this kind of gameplay. But that's an entirely different discussion for a different day. That is it for top 5 things Recettear got right. I've been KingsDecree. Thanks for watching.